All right, joining us right now to talk about this and more, Sam Nunberg, former Trump campaign advisor, and Jane Velez-Mitchell, oh my goodness, founder of JaneUnchained.com, New York Times best-selling author. Welcome to both of you. Sam, let me start with you before we get into all that. Of course, Paul Manafort resigning from the campaign early this morning. Your take on that?
Well, look, Paul was becoming a distraction. He knew he was becoming a distraction. And I think it was very commendable of him to retire. I think your audience should also know about Paul is he was never getting a salary. This was a pure volunteer job. And where he took that campaign to where it is today, he deserves a lot of credit. And I think that they're going to be in good shape with Steve Bannon and Kellyanne Conway going forward.
Jane?
Well, I think they're rearranging deck chairs in the Titanic, and we know that Corey Lewandowski left after he yanked a female reporter, and now this guy, Paul Manafort's leaving because he's embroiled in a scandal in the Ukraine with his name popping up in secret ledgers earmarked for $12.7 million from a pro-Russian political party. We know that a former head of the CIA says that Donald Trump has been recruited, effectively recruited by Russia. You know what I say to Donald
Jane,
Trump?
give me a break.
Get on a plane and fly to Russia and leave. Live there.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk. You want to talk about Russia? You want to talk about what the Clinton Foundation, the State Department, and the connection to the uranium mine? You want to go into something that really matters? We could do that. No, the media doesn't talk about that.
Donald Trump is in love with Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. All right. Great. You know what? Vladimir Putin is going after ISIS. Obama is not.
You live in Russia, Steve. You go live there and get arrested.
Yeah. Right. Sam, let me ask you about this. Now let's get to why. I mean, the Homeland Security Director standing there and saying, first of all, he doesn't even know what season it is. Barack Obama has a very busy fall schedule, so that's why he can't come to Louisiana. What the hell is he talking about?
Well, he actually does have a busy fall schedule. You know, he's opened up October to start campaigning with Hillary. And I do recall one thing, by the way, about Barack Obama. I recall in Hurricane Sandy, when he got a big bear hug from Chris Christie, he was able to get there, you know, in the middle of an election, in the middle of all his other duties. And today, I think he just figured it was more important to stay at Martha's Vineyard and have a good time playing golf.
I mean, Jane, my God, the hypocrisy of the left. I'm sure you blasted George W. Bush for Katrina, so I'm sure you're going to praise Donald Trump and blast your girl Hillary, who's sitting in an air-conditioned home somewhere, and call the governor, and you're going to blast Obama for going
I'm sure if President Obama had showed up, you would accuse him of interfering with the rescue efforts. Donald Trump showed up in Louisiana to help himself, nobody else, because his poll numbers are plummeting and because his campaign is in disarray. And it's the first intelligent thing he has done in months in a campaign filled with gas. And it's just pure theater.
Hey, Jane, you tell it to the people who got supplies that they need off the truck that Donald Trump donated. Where's the Clinton? Jane, where's the Clinton Foundation donated? They do such great work.
She tweeted.
She tweeted.
Louisiana. You want to help the people of Louisiana? Don't elect somebody who thinks climate change is a hoax. That's what Donald Trump said. And yet, California's in flames. Louisiana's underwater.
California is in flames, Jane, as you should know because you're out there. One of the big major fires was set by an arsonist. Most of these things are set by arsonists who are radical leftist nut jobs. All right, Sam, let's move on. Let's move on to the lie, according to Colin Powell.
Right.
Hillary remembers a dinner that Colin Powell doesn't have any recollection of. I'm shocked. And they're trying to, she told the FBI, Colin Powell told me to do it. Hillary never told us Colin Powell told her to do it. She made up her own story. But here again, different situation. Colin Powell didn't use his own server. Colin Powell didn't send classified and receive classified information over that server and a private email. It's a completely different situation from Colin Powell, even if he did tell her to do it, which he says he doesn't remember telling her.
You know, I could talk about this for days. I could talk about this for hours. But let's just go very quickly. Remember, this is a redacted script, which the only reason we're finding out about this is because Chaffetz, the Congress, asked to get that transcript and wants an investigation because Hillary Clinton most likely lied to Congress. And yet, even with the redactions, this is what we're still finding out. The FBI is not going to do anything about it. Obviously, this Justice Department's not going to do anything about it. And it's another reason I think this is a good issue for Donald Trump to talk about. And I hope he says it right to Hillary at the debate.
Absolutely.
Americans do not care about this manufactured email.
I think you're right. You know, Jane, that's not true. Jane,
money
it's
and more
simply not
time
true.
than was spent on Watergate. Nobody cares because there were no repercussions. Had some classified email resulted in some catastrophe, you would be all over it. There is no repercussion from this, and that's why
not the Jane. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. The repercussions are not the issue. The issue is the legality. The issue is, by the way, lying to the FBI. By the way, making sure that you have a server and making sure that you're going to have this line of communication that nobody else outside the government can see. Remember, Jane, she was working for us as Secretary of State. I know she doesn't believe that, and I understand she was using that as for cronyism to raise money for the Clinton Foundation. But it's absolutely, for you to just sit there and say this is a non-issue. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If this was a Republican, this would be a major issue to me.
Saying how much he likes Saddam Hussein, who gassed his own people with chemical weapons.
We killed Saddam Hussein thanks to George Bush. So I don't know what you're talking about.
What you're talking.
Fuck it up. Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons on his own people, and George Bush used that as citing a reason to go into Iraq in the first place.
What does that have to do with her email server?
It means that Donald Trump is in love with Saddam Hussein and Vladimir Putin. In love with dictators, and he will turn the United States of America into a dictator.
Jane, the only one I know who's loving dictators is Barack Obama, who paid $400 million in ransom to get 4 Americans out. That's the only one I know who's
All right, guys, gotta go. Jane Velez-Mitchell and Sam Nunberg, I thank you both very, very much. And coming up next, live on the Steve Malzberg Show, Kristen Tate, thelibertarianchick.com, and your calls at 877 Newsmax. Don't go away.